Welcome to Chop Shop Motors. My name is Clay, and today we're going to do some work on the 62 Fairlane. We're going to start down the path of fixing some of the floors. Once I get the floors done, I can maybe move some of the interior stuff forward and get it sealed up, so the floors have to get done. Today I am going to see how far I can get on that, and who knows, maybe we'll get a patch or two in. All right, let me show you exactly what we're doing in this space. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the seat out, and I'll give it another once over, get some more of the kind of particles of rust and insulation and stuff out of it. I haven't had the seat out, so there'll be stuff underneath there. We'll get that swept out. We'll keep making it a little cleaner every time. And then I'm going to attack these two areas. The first is pretty small, looks like hardly anything, but actually I think there's a bigger hole that was covered up there, so we'll cut that piece out and see if we can get that cleaned up and sealed up. And then we've got some floor decay here around the gas pedal. There's a hole into the concrete, and then underneath that piece of fabric there's some holes, so that whole area is probably going to need to be replaced. And that will be what we focus on today. So let's get the seat out. So let's take a closer look. The seat is out. Floor looks a little easier view of the floor being rusty. It's pretty sound in lots of areas. The middle of the floor, where the part that's under the seat, definitely looks sound. It usually is. Water doesn't pool there. Cars like this rust because moisture gets on the inside, so it's not a it's not a rust out from salt or things from the outside. So we can see a little clearer that the back is rusty, and we'll address that. But as we look at the front, we can definitely see where we're going to have to attack it. So now that the seat's out of it, I'm going to give it a once over and see if I can get it a little cleaner. Just keep the dust down, and then we'll cut some floor out. This is a really cool part about working on a project like this, is every time you do a little bit more, sweep out a little bit more, clean up a little bit more, the project looks a little bit better and a little bit better. So still dusty. You can start to see some of the blue paint that was underneath there. The metal that's healthy is starting to look a little more the part, and we're plugging away and making progress. Next step will be to set up the tripod, and I'm just gonna film as I cut out some of the floor and kind of let the horrible parts go away, and we'll show what it looks like as we cut out the crap. So let's set up the tripod and get to cutting. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to map out how much of this I want to cut out, at least first stab. And we'll kind of show you where that goes. So there's probably going to be some flyovers and some airplane noise through some of this. I'll try to edit out most of it, but just so you're aware that there's going to be some of that. All right, let's make some lines. Got to go up the toe board a little bit to get away from Mother Nature's wrath. We're going to go around this area. We're going to go back to about here. I may end up taking some more out, but at least this much. I tend to mark everywhere I'm going to cut. I don't assume I'm going to remember what's going on once I'm cutting. So that's kind of my approach. There's a cross member in here that I won't cut through, so we'll see how much of that factors into what I'm cutting. All right, let's cut. Here's the piece we took out. You can see there wasn't much left of it. Rusty all the way through. We just took it to where I think we have healthy metal on the edge to be able to weld to. It's pretty jagged. There is a little cross member or support piece that goes underneath. This is where the gas pedal sits. So we'll beef up a cross member in the new floor when we put it in there to make sure that's super strong. But other than that, it looks pretty straightforward. And I'll show you the inside of the car. So here's the inside. It's got a big hole in it now. It actually looks better with the hole than it does with the rust. So that's what the hole looks like. The galvanized underneath looks really solid. Whenever you're doing this, you want to be careful of all those lines. So the next thing I'll do now is I'm going to take a wire wheel and I'm going to start to clean up this area right here. That'll give me a little better clue about kind of how, you know, what kind of shape this driver's side is in after we descale it some more. So let me hit it with a wire wheel. So this is the hole in the floor. Taken and gave it a wire wheel. Found a couple other little spots I'm gonna have to work on. But for this video, this is probably as far as I'll take it. The next bit of work will be building a floor pan for it because I don't have a 62 Fairlane 500 floor pan to drop in there. So I'm gonna have to make one. So tune back in and we'll see how this turns out. I'm Clay for Chop Shop Motors, and we'll see you on the next project.